And welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and we have a very quick video answering just a few basic questions. We're with Not Really a Jedi, a developer from Capital Games. Welcome.
Thank you.
First off, I had a huge list of questions from all of my patrons, but I can't seem to find them because that's just the day that I'm having. But I think that there are a lot of questions that I have that are very similar to what my patrons had. And
Sure.
the first is, what was going through the developer's thoughts when building out the kit, specifically how she was going to play out into the current meta and the current situation with the game with territory wars, battles, all of that? Like, what was the thought process with bringing her in? What was she supposed to fulfill as a role?
Yeah, so with Rey, because we knew she was going to be an iconic character that was going to be delivered through this hero's journey event, we really took a look at all the areas in the game and said, where would she really be a benefit here? And of course, PvP is always at the top of the list because that's where a lot of our very dedicated players spend a significant amount of time. And now with territory wars, coming out and being another aspect of PvP, it was really important for us to make sure that she fit into that space. And we didn't want her to be the same as Commander Luke, and we didn't want her to have the same kind of behavior or play behavior, because then people would just be a competition for Commander Luke Skywalker. So we really looked at how could she fit in with Commander Luke Skywalker existing in the world. How could she fit in with territory wars, territory battles, galactic war, raids, all that sort of stuff. And so we just kind of pinpointed areas where we thought she would really be effective and efficient, and kind of designed around that. And it turned out to be a really good way to do it. She's probably one of the strongest defensive characters in the game right now. The AI uses her very well.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, basically right now, if you put her into a correct party, which we're not talking about what the perfect party is, we want players to kind of figure that out on their own. She will probably win more defensive battles than any other character currently available.
So outside of Resistance, what's your favorite team composition?
With her, or just
with her? Yeah, with her. What's your favorite team?
I'm not talking about it because I'm not giving that away. I will say this: I'll give you the same clue I gave everybody else. BB-8 is a very important part of that team composition with Rey.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. I mean, they're almost like CLS and R2D2. You know, they're two peas in a pod absolutely. For sure. Yeah. How does R2D2 fit into that equation as well?
R2D2 is R2D2. He fits everywhere and anywhere. We're not using R2D2, you know.
So quick stats. Everybody wants to know stats. Is she going to be fast like the other Rey was fast? Is she going to have a lot of health and protection because she's a tank, even though she doesn't taunt? Can you disclose any of the stats, or kind of just vaguely tell us where they're going to sit approximately?
So I can't get into the specifics of the stats, but I will say that we took a lot of time focusing on her gear, making sure that it was appropriate for somebody that we've asked to be a tank effectively. And like I said, that she's a very strong defensive character, and she's a very powerful attacker as well. Like she's a robust character. She's very useful. Like I said, there's one aspect of the raid she's probably going to be able to just single-handedly handle. So we just kind of looked at stats in that way and said, like, all right, if she's not going to taunt, what does she have to do? And so, yeah, she'll survive.
Awesome. Do you see any apparent weaknesses with her, specifically where we shouldn't be using her, or things that we shouldn't be directing this particular character towards?
Well, I mean, it's like any other character, right? If you put them in a bad party or a bad composition, then she's going to be ineffective. It's exactly like CLS or Gen Ken or anybody else, right? If you're not, like, they might be good, they might be the best in the composition that you've used, but using a poorly thought out composition means that you won't get the most out of that character. Same thing with Rey.
Yeah. What about her tag? I know a lot of people talk about that. She's a Jedi training Rey, and I know that's specific to the movie, and she's not a Jedi yet. Kind of like you're
Right.
not really a Jedi.
Yeah.
Um, what about the tag? I know it's resistance only for now, and that kind of makes sense for now. Is there any flexibility in the future as far as tags being changed out? This is specific to her, but even in generally just other characters as well, with tags potentially being updated. I've seen that in the past.
Yeah, so we're always reevaluating characters and their tags. With Rey in particular, she probably will not ever receive a tag change unless something changes inside the Star Wars universe itself related to her in this specific instance. She is very clearly not a Jedi at this point in time, and so she will not. This particular version of Rey will not receive a Jedi tag, so far as I am aware.
Okay.
But like I said, other characters, we do reevaluate characters all the time, and we do reevaluate the tag structure all the time. Like you said, you've seen some characters get tag changes, so we're always aware of the tag system, and we're always trying to make sure that everybody's brought up to par within the universe.
When designing her kit, did you have a specific focus on PvP on offense or PvP on defense? Which one more, or was it more supposed to be all well-rounded?
Well, we always want a character to be well-rounded in the sense that if you focus on one too much over the other, then people just won't use the character, right? The glass cannon versus the wet noodle. But yeah, we definitely focused on Rey being more of a defensive character in the sense that she is very survivable, and we took the time to really. We've had some new AI functionality built for the design team, so now we can kind of take a little bit more of that on herself. And so she's one of the first characters where we've really applied some of the new AI functionality that we could very specifically apply to an individual character. So she should behave a little bit better than most, and should be, like I said, we focused a little bit more on her being the kind of character that you want to put in a party because, yeah, she's going to do a lot of damage, but she's also going to be defensively very solid.
Awesome. And is she going to have to be utilized for a future version of Rey potentially down the road, kind of like CLS may be needed for the last look?
Who knows? She's not even at the door yet. So
yeah, that's just a question that they had asked, and
yeah,
I think that's a possibility. I was kind of
sure.
joking to answer that.
We always try to build on the existing content, right? So that the work that people have put in and that they have acquired will continue to have value down the road. So, it's not unheard of that she might be used for something down the road, but at this point, we don't have any plans and haven't announced anything.
So for those individuals who are farming crazy fast and trying to get to the point where they're going to be able to do her, which is about 10 days out for the end of the video or the end of the event, what would be the cadence that she's going to fall into as far as her recycling of the event, of her coming back? 4 months, 6 months, approximate?
Sure. So I don't make the scheduling. I am strictly the lead game designer. So I don't. I have input into it, but it's not something that I have any sort of say in. So I don't know what the current plan is for her to come back.
All right. And then how much input does Disney specifically have when you're and how much flexibility maybe do they give you guys when trying to build these characters? I know they give you information last minute and you kind of have to go to town as fast as possible building a character. But some people just kind of want to know about the input, like how much input do they have versus how much creative flexibility you guys have?
Sure. So Disney and Lucasfilm are fantastic partners and they've always been very good to us. So I don't think we've ever been in a position where we've scrambled because we're withholding information or getting it to us at the last minute. Like they've always been very open and forthcoming with us, and they make sure they're there to make sure that their property is being represented in the best way possible. So, they review everything and they give us pointers and make sure that we're being respectful to the canon and to the characters themselves. And so, it's a really awesome partnership, and they're really good at making sure that we have what we need and that these characters are coming out basically, hopefully, the way the fans really want them to come out.
Awesome. Well, I only have one more question, and this is where I get down and dirty with you. So hold your seat really quick. So Rey, Jedi training Rey, but even just Rey as a developed character and as a new coming character, just in the last movie, Episode 7, she is in fact my favorite character. It used to be Han Solo. She's taken that over. She took that over when she was introduced in Episode 7. I know I get flack for that, but I do. She is my ultimate fan favorite, and awesome. I got to see her kit. I got to see how she's built. I got to see some footage. I know you guys did a great job of recording good footage, but the footage isn't everything she's capable of. And as a avid fan, I've got 3 Zetas ready to go for her. I guess my question to you is as a ridiculously avid fan, I watched the video and I'm a little bit apprehensive because I'm like, man, she's supposed to be like CLS, and I know she's not supposed to be, but kind of on a parallel plane with it being a legendary character. Sell me on Rey. Why do I want to invest all of this gear into her? 3 Zetas, and I know you can't disclose which phase of the raid or what team composition you want us to discover that, but why am I as my settle my nerves, because then I'm telling you, she's my favorite character, and I'm feeling she's good, solid, but not like overpowered.
Absolutely. So look, at the end of the day, CLS represents a very different kind of power. It's a very raw set of power outside, coming from CLS. If we replicated that exactly, it would be, we'd basically have 2 game-breaking characters sitting on the outlying edge that we would not be able to ever rein back in. Rey's kit is designed, so first of all, she'll beat CLS. Her team composition is the #1, internally is our #1 team right now. Like, there's not a team that really beats it. She will unseat CLS very handily if put in the correct party inside PvP. She is probably one of the most, if not the most powerful team composition for territory wars and territory battles. There's some slight changes in the character composition in those parties, but she will handily deal with territory wars and territory battles. And then, like I said, she's got a great spot inside the raid system. So look, at the end of the day, she definitely is not as flashy as CLS, and we knew going out that people were going to look at that and go, well, she doesn't look as good. She handily deals with the Xeris Genken meta. So the main goal here is that what we're focused on trying to do is get to a place where when you look at the top meta, it's not, the same 20 teams from top to bottom. We want some variety in there. We want some character swap out in there. Rey is a great step forward in us achieving that goal and getting to a place where the meta starts getting pretty diverse. So, if you're a Resistance fan, she's a must-have. She will completely replace Zeta Finn in the leadership role. Even if you're not, she's an extraordinarily powerful character who will completely unseat, well, not completely, but she'll defeat CLS and give you a shot there at that top rank.
All right.
So
one last question, and I know you don't want to go into team comps, but can you tell me what tank would you pair with her as a lead? Come on. I want to know your opinion on the tank.
No, I already gave you the BB-8 spoiler.
Oh, so, I knew BB-8 though. We knew that.
I know you did. That's the one I get. Look, here's the thing. So regarding the footage that you guys received.
Yeah.
One of the main goals of that footage. So there's a couple of things that I think we could have done better. Number one, we didn't record it in 4x speed. We recorded it in the single X. So when people were saying like, oh, it takes twice as long to kill, it's like, well, yes, because this footage isn't recorded in 4x. So it's already slower by just the fact that we left it in 1x speed. But the other thing is
typing.
Yeah, we got some typing. But the other thing is that we very specifically put her in a variety of parties to show her usefulness across multiple party types. But like I said, we did not show optimal party compositions. So it's a tightrope that we walk, right? Like we definitely want to show everybody like how versatile a character is and how good a character is, but at the same time, we're not ready to give away, you know, the whole farm and just say like, here's exactly how you use this character.
And I think the community as a whole, who are theory crafters, are thankful for that, because one, it's kind of a puzzle. We like to figure out these team compositions over time, and two, we don't want everybody to know right away, or, you know.
Right.
But I appreciate you selling my nerves. It didn't matter. Even if you told me she was a turd, I was going to buy, you know, all the gear I needed to get her up. And I was going to throw 3 Zetas on her because she's my favorite character. In fact, I really am determined, even if it's not meta, to run both Rays at the same time, somehow, some way, because... yeah, because I love both the Rays. I even Zeta'd the old Scavenger Ray.
Well, good luck. I'm really curious to see how that party will run. So, I mean, I knew people were going to do it, so I'm excited to see how it plays out. So
well, think about the amount of damage she's going to do. It's going to be insane.
Oh, yeah.
So,
okay.
Well, I appreciate you coming on really quick, making it a brief video. I appreciate your time. So, thank you very much for coming on board and giving us this opportunity. As always, everybody, if you have comments, leave them in the section below in the comment section. As always, keep your gaming on. Warrior, out.